Hey there everybody, are you ready for a little bit of story time? I love to fish, and I love to do things. As you've seen on my channel, I put stuff up, I take stuff down, I build things, I fix things. I just kind of like to do a lot of different things. But one thing that I've always enjoyed is fishing. But I have a problem with fishing. You see, I have bad legs. And when I mean bad legs, I mean I have bad legs. It's also the thing that lets me wear these sweet socks. Heck yeah, baby. Those are sexy. Now, I won't bore you with all the details, but suffice it to say, I can't stand up for very long without having some problems with my legs. So, when I'm thinking about fishing, that poses a few problems. One, if I fish from the shore, I'm either standing in the water or standing on the shore, and that's gonna be difficult because I can't do that for very long. Or two, I can take the boat out, but if I take the boat out by myself, it's difficult to launch and dock, and using a ski boat or a tubing boat to do fishing, it's not the most ideal situation. I can't put a trolling motor on there, so it just is kind of difficult. So I came up with a solution. I bought a kayak, and not just any kayak, but one from a company called Brooklyn Kayak Company. The beauty of kayak fishing is that I can sit with my legs flat out in front of me while I'm fishing. I can mount a trolling motor to it so I can troll around, or I can paddle. I can work my upper body, I can get some exercise, I can do some fishing, I can get outdoors, and I can do all the wonderful things that I could otherwise not do if I had to be sitting on the shoreline. So, on today's episode of Don't Burn the House Down, I'm going to unbox the Brooklyn Kayak Company BKC FK13. That is the make and model of the kayak. I'm also going to show where I'm going to store this kayak in my garage. I'll give you a hint. And this is going to be the first video in a series of videos that I will feature on my channel where I work on the kayak, I do some DIY mods to it, and then ultimately take it out fishing. I'm going to start featuring fishing videos on my channel to accent my home videos as well. So I'm excited for this new series, I'm excited for this new adventure in life, and as always, don't burn the house down. First things first, let's talk about the actual ordering process from Brooklyn Kayak Company. Now, if I had to give this company a rating on a scale of A through F, they're gonna get a C. The ordering process itself was very simple and straightforward. My buddy ordered one over the phone. I purchased one online. We both got a good deal on them, the same price, and then they shipped them together. That's where things went south. Ordering it was easy, the communication with the company was easy, but they choose the world's worst shipping company to get it here. Let me show you something. Kayaks are a hot commodity right now, so when I ordered from Brooklyn Kayak Company, they said several of their models were back ordered 4 to 6 weeks. However, the one that I chose was available for immediate shipping. Great, I thought, I'm gonna get this thing in a week or so. No. So I placed my order on April 26th, and it was almost $1,200, so it was a decent chunk of change. From there, it didn't do anything. 4 days later, it was received in the consolidation center by AM Trucking. AM Trucking. That's the carrier that they use to ship their kayaks. It sat in their consolidation center for over a week. On May 7th, it left in transit to the delivery terminal. Great, I thought, I'm gonna get my kayak soon. It took 2 days to go from California to Des Moines, Iowa, and then it sat there, and sat there, and sat there. It literally sat there for almost a month. I called the company, Brooklyn Kayak Company. I called the trucking company. Brooklyn Kayak Company said, we're on top of it. We're gonna get a hold of the trucking company. The trucking company said, well, we don't have many trucks that go that direction. What direction? I live in Minneapolis, for crying out loud. You don't send anything up to the Twin Cities? How does that happen? Phone calls, emails, threatening to have to get my money back to issue a refund. I even filed a PayPal dispute before finally, last week, I got a call from the trucking company saying that my shipment was gonna be on the delivery for next week. This thing just sat in Iowa for almost a month. Why is it in Iowa? What is there? They were finally delivered on June 3rd. I placed my order on April 26th. It was well over a month from the time that I paid money until this thing showed up at my doorstep. That's unacceptable in today's day and age. Now, they told me, well, kayaks are so large, we have to have special shipment. I understand that, but I've ordered trampolines that came in giant boxes. I've ordered a pool that came in a giant box. I've ordered large items that had no problem being delivered by FedEx or UPS, but because they chose AM trucking for their delivery, it was over a month. And if you check Brooklyn Kayak Company's website or their Google reviews, the bulk of their negative reviews are around shipping. So that tells me the company is going for what the cheapest option is without actually listening to their customers. So in that regard, I give them a C. And I'm hoping as I open this kayak, I don't have any other problems. I've heard their customer support's pretty good, but starting out, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. Okay, rant over. Let's actually open this thing up. I will give Brooklyn Kayak Company some credit. In several of their reviews, it was stated that the kayak arrived at the destination damaged, that they weren't wrapped or they weren't packaged properly. So it looks like they listened there. This thing's packaged really well. It's wrapped in some sort of like a cardboard. It's got bubble wrap and it has plastic wrap. I mean, this thing is definitely wrapped up to not be disturbed in transit. I also ordered a trolling motor mount, which came attached to the kayak in this box right here. So packing and shipping wise, they did a pretty good job of making sure this was going to arrive to me without any nicks or scuffs. So far so good. Right out the box, I will say this thing looks really nice. You know, it's got the Brooklyn Kayak Company branding on the side. It also comes with the Brooklyn Kayak Company paddle. Comes with the seat, has the logo on the seat back there. All in all, there's the rudder. More branding on the side there. I mean, it looks really nice. It feels very nice. The handle on the front here is really cool. That'll be handy to pull this thing around, but first impressions, yeah, it looks really nice. So I'm assuming the seat will mount here. These are your rod holders here and here, which is also where the trolling motor is going to mount. The back hatch, storage hatch, has these rubber bands on it so you can put things down there. It's got a massive front waterproof hatch, which that's pretty nice. Yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna do what I can to set this thing up. So this is kind of a neat little feature. On the included paddle that comes with it, it's a two-piece paddle that snaps together, but this little locking button here can go in any one of these three holes, which can adjust the overall tilt of your paddle. So I assume that's kind of based on personal preference. So I am going to play with that and see which one I like the most, but for the time being, I'm just going to put it in the middle hole. There. So that I have a paddle. And that comes included with the kayak, so that's kind of nice. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna say this seat is really comfortable. It has little straps on the side that you can adjust, so you can go further forward or further back. So let's say I wanna take a little siesta and push this baby clear back. Okay, that's an ab workout more than anything else. But it has adjustable foot levers down here. It has this big middle hatch right here, which is a waterproof hatch. It also has a built-in, like a yardstick, so it shows how big your fish are. So that's really nice. All in all, this is really comfortable. So far, so good. Let's do a rundown of some of the features on this kayak. So starting at the front, you've got a really nice handle for moving this thing around. It's got 2 screws on either side. It's very sturdy. I like that a lot. At the very front, you have what I can only assume is a completely waterproof hatch. held down by elastic here. Open that up. That is quite a bit of storage. It also has a rack on the front here for mounts. And I believe those are yak mounts. You can definitely correct me in the comment section, but they have this sort of star pattern in them. So I assume that's for mounting GoPros or fish finders or anything else that uses this sort of mounting system. Coming back further on the kayak, we have another hatch right here that is held together by these clips. And this is what I was talking about. I don't know if that's going to show up on the video very well, but it's got inches on this side, centimeters on this side for if you're measuring your fish on the fly. Open that up, a little bit more storage in the middle. So dig that. You'll notice there are drain plugs all over this thing, which is nice for if you get a bunch of water in your yak. There's 4 on the floor here. There's 1 up on the front there. Coming back further, you have the seat with the company logo on it. Seat is very comfortable. I will say I'm not a huge fan of the placement of this waterproof hatch. It is kind of difficult to turn being underneath the bar of the seat right there. It's doable, but it's kind of inconvenient, especially if you're going to place a larger item in there. You're not going to be able to pull it straight up because this bar is in the way. So it seems like a bit of a design flaw. But the compartment itself has a nice little bag in it that you can obviously drop your stuff down in there, wallet or keys or whatever you don't want to get wet. And it does screw shut. So that is a nice addition, but again, it seems like a strange place to put it. Further back on the kayak, you have another waterproof compartment right behind the seat. These are the 2 rod holders right here and right over there. You have ample storage space back here with a very traditional bungee tie-down system. And then the rudder is affixed to the back. I did attach the rudder. It has a pin that goes through here, and it attaches on the bottom here with a little pin. The problem is I have zero idea how to hook this thing up. So this is going to be one of the complaints I have about it. This kayak didn't come with any sort of instructions. They don't have any downloadable PDFs on their website. They have literally no videos on how to set this particular kayak up. I don't know if this is a new model, this FK13, but I can find literally nothing on it. I have no support for this kayak. So I did email the company. Hopefully they will let me know. My question is, this is supposed to be a foot control rudder, which means that you shove these foot pedals. But the problem is, this is the rudder cord. These foot pedals are stationary. They don't move. Once you lock them in place, how are you supposed to control a rudder with that, with a foot pedal that doesn't move? I would think there would be a secondary pedal up here that you'd be able to push just for the rudder control. This makes zero sense to me. Not to mention when you come back to wire this thing up, it's just string. So do you just tie the string in through the knots, through the loops here? You loop it around or whatever? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. The rudder pulley system works nice. These guys right here, what you pull to put the rudder up or down. Okay, well, work nice. Oh my gosh, there it goes. There we go. And you pull this one to bring it back up. But yeah, this rudder is kind of throwing me for a loop here. So I emailed the company. Hopefully they'll get back to me here pretty quick on exactly how to install that thing, because again, it came with zero instructions, which is kind of frustrating. So all in all, the kayak is extremely well built. I will say it feels very nice, feels very sturdy. It looks really nice. I dig the gray camo color. They have several colors available on their website. So yeah, first impressions, you know, I like it. Confused by that rudder system, but overall, this thing is pretty cool. My next step is I'm going to install the motor bracket. That is an additional, I think it's an additional $100, but it allows you to mount a trolling motor into those rod holders down there. So I'm gonna put this thing together and get that mounted. unfortunately, the frustrations are mounting with this kayak. So I already described the issue with the foot rudder. I don't have a clue how that works, but this is supposed to be the trolling motor mount, and it doesn't fit. It's supposed to go into the pole holders here, and it is too big. The metal on here is too big to fit in the actual pole holders. Just a hair. I mean, it's maybe a millimeter or two. I mean, it's just too big. And I don't want to force it down in there and try to break something, but it doesn't fit. So the mount that I ordered for the kayak doesn't fit the kayak. Okay. I have to figure something else out here. So I pulled this rod holder out of the other side. Here it is. It's a drop down rod holder. The problem is this post that's supposed to go down in here is the exact same diameter as this. There is no possible way that's going to fit in there. So this isn't going to work. I mean, this is the piece that comes with the kayak if you order it, but it doesn't work. These are way too big, and it's pretty thick tubing. So there's really no way I'm going to be able to cut down the side of this and then maybe like pound the diameter of it down. I mean, that's a lot of metal. So as is, this thing is not going to work. So again, I don't know what's going on with this company. I don't know if they're just young or confused or they don't know their heads from their ass, but this is pretty frustrating. It's a brand new kayak and all these parts don't fit and things don't make sense. And so far, you know, I gave them a C. I'm giving them down to a D now because this is getting frustrating. So I'm not gonna lie, so far I'm pretty frustrated with this kayak. As I showed, the rod holder hole is too small for the motor mount. The rudder system makes 0 sense. And here's my biggest complaint. So if anybody from Brooklyn Kayak is actually watching this video, and I hope you are, your customers need to do business with your company on their time, not your time. I called this support number, I waited on hold for 2 minutes, at which point it said, leave us a voicemail, we'll call you back within 2 days, or send us an email and we'll email you back within 24 to 48 hours. That doesn't help me right now. If you're gonna be a nationwide distributor with nationwide customers, you need to be available when they have questions. So amp up your call center, amp up your support, figure something out, because especially when you're shipping a product as frustrating as this one, you need to be available when people call. So rant over, now let's talk about how we're gonna store this thing, assuming that it actually works. I decided I'm gonna put this thing on a hoist on the roof. The kayak's about 13 feet long, and that's a pretty decent size to try to just sit on the floor in my garage. So I invested in this, the High Lift Pro. The link for this for Amazon will be in the description below. Yeah, couple of pulleys, couple of straps, some rope. I think we can figure this out. Instructions, sure. So I'm gonna put this thing up on the ceiling and hopefully be able to store my kayak before the day is over. If you've watched my other videos, you know that I am all about admitting when I do something stupid or make a mistake or all the above. So I'm gonna do that again now. So I am suspending the kayak. There. That look nice? Couple of pulleys up there. The rope ties down over there. You're probably thinking to yourself, cool, that works out well. Well, it kind of doesn't. Because first and foremost, I thought this would get closer to the ceiling than it does. It doesn't. So it's pretty tight whether or not my Tahoe could fit under here. So anything taller than my Tahoe, like a pickup or anything that may park in here, could not fit under the kayak. That's problem A. Problem B, what if this thing falls and I'm parked under it? I didn't think that through very well. So, it works. It's cool. Oh yeah. Problem C is you need to be able to pull this rope that way. like much further that way than what I can right here because it's so close. So what I need to do is I need to move this entire thing this way. So realistically, the tip of the kayak should be about here. That way I can pull the rope further from that direction and then tie it on the wall. So what's my solution? Well, I'm gonna do it again, which it's only 4 screws into the ceiling. It's not too hard. And since I have an unfinished garage, I don't care about leaving holes, but I'm gonna put it right here. This way I'll be able to put it, the tip of the kayak over here and not worry about the garage door hitting it. And it won't be right over my car either. So this is just kind of storage space, so it's okay if there's a kayak over it. And God forbid it falls, for whatever reason, it's not gonna damage my vehicle. So I haven't heard back from Brooklyn Kayak Company. It's almost 4 o'clock. I emailed them this morning. I don't know. The rudder still doesn't work, I'll tell you that much. And the motor mount still doesn't work. So yeah, I'm just gonna relocate this thing. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm officially sweating my butt off. It's like 95 degrees outside. The garage is hotter than crap, but I got it relocated. Check it out. So now, when I park the Tahoe right there, that will be safely out of the way. So that's it, folks. That concludes this first video on the kayak. Again, not entirely thrilled with the Brooklyn Kayak Company. The kayak looks nice. It looks like it's built well, but the rudder system makes 0 sense. The motor mount doesn't fit. It took them forever to get it here. Has not been a pleasurable buying experience. So when I hear back from Brooklyn Kayak Company, I will include that in my next video. Hopefully they'll do it soon. I'm sure they're on their own time. They don't care about their customer base, but I will definitely keep you posted as to what happens, what transpires. And the first time that thing hits the open water, I'll take you along for the ride. So thanks for watching. Have a great night.